Commissioner Singleton. Commissioner Henderson.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Commissioner Henry.
Yes.
Commissioner Harrelson.
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards.
Yes.
Commissioner Isom.
Yes.
Mayor Muhammad.
Yes. The approval of the December 6, 2021 minutes, the regular minutes. Motion is made by Commissioner Adams, is there support? And it is supported by Commissioner Harrelson. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Adams.
Yes.
Commissioner Henry.
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton.
Yes.
Commissioner Isom.
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Harrelson.
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards.
Yes.
Commissioner Mayor Muhammad.
Yes. This brings us to the approval of the accounts payable listing. Is there a motion for the approval? Motion is made by Commissioner Henderson, supported by Commissioner Harrelson. Is there discussion? Chair recognizes Commissioner Edwards.
Yes, thank you, sir. Check number 34415. My question is just what was the repair done at the pavilion at JKP?
There was, Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
the chair, that was a repair to the siding on the pavilion.
Thank you, sir.
Chairman recognizes Commissioner Adams.
Thank you, Mayor Muhammad, and I'm not gonna keep you long because I got a whole bunch of them. And I know there's nobody here from, in the form of a finance director, but I'm gonna try. There's a charge, 791000772, and it's twice. Same number, and it's intact service, USLL. Wade Bradley versus City, I don't know what it is, but there's a price of $600. What is that? The word intact just caught my eye because I'm hoping that we got some stuff in here intact that will, if we show a presentation, that it works for the citizens.
What is that?
791000772. Page 4.
I can't tell you right now, Commissioner.
Okay. 0106768-IN. Plow truck blades, curb, guard bolts. When I saw it, I almost overlooked it because, okay, I'm like blade. Bolts though?
Snow
Bolts
plow.
cost $5,867.46.
Snow plow blades, probably.
No, it said bolts, guard bolts.
Bolts with snow plow.
There are many more,
I'll
but,
get it and make sure.
there are many more, and I'm not gonna take up too much time, but we don't have finance, director here, and for that reason, I will not be supporting this, financials.
Thank you, Commissioner Adams. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Isom.
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards.
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton.
Yes.
Commissioner Harrelson.
Yes.
Commissioner Adams.
No.
Commissioner Henry.
No.
Mayor Muhammad.
Yes.
Motion passes.
This brings us to our update from our county commissioner, Madam Honorable Mamie Yarbrough.
My name is Mamie L. Yarbrough. I live at 228 Territorial Road, Benton Harbor, Michigan. Honorable Mayor Muhammad, I thank you for this opportunity, Honorable Commission, and to the citizens of Benton Harbor. I would like to let you know that Berrien Bus is closed this week of December 20th through the end of the week because of staff shortages for not having enough employees for positive COVID testing and all. And we've notified, we have some standing appointments that we take people to different places. We've notified them. And so as far as we know, for 1 week, Berrien Bus is not running. I'd also like to let you know that Lee Law, who is the Veterans Administrator for Berrien County, and Berrien County honored volunteer veteran administration drivers. They drive the veterans all year to Battle Creek and to other medical appointments and sometimes even more things than that. And so we gave them a citation and they went to lunch on Thursday. And all the volunteers and the activities, we thank them for what they've done this year. We now have an attorney. His name is Thaddeus Hackworth. We did interviews and we've had applications out for over a year. It was going with a local company that had many people, but Berrien County needed an attorney that was in-house and that was there and that every day our people could go and talk to him and ask questions and all. And so we have hired a person. I'd like to let you know that there is a notice out and it's for the show cause hearing and judicial foreclosure hearing on payment of property taxes. This was published on December 17th, and there will be another paper coming out December 24th. So if you're interested, it would be a good thing to have, and it's in the Herald Palladium. And these are all the properties that are 3 years behind in tax payment. It's a notice. There are a number of things you have to do by law to be in a timely manner. And all these pages are Berrien County. And I want to let you know the best thing to do probably is to go to the Berrien County site and look for these dates and things if you have property or if you know someone that may need to know about this. But on March 1st, 2021, real estate with unpaid 2019 and prior property taxes were forfeited to the Berrien County Treasurer. And on February 8th, 2022, at 9 a.m. at the Berrien County Courthouse in St. Joe, you can go and to this hearing and the foreclosure. And there are a number of dates. And as you know, every year we have a sale in July of 2022, and that second sale in September of 2022. But to know information, to call, to know more, it's Berrien County Treasurer. Her name is Shelley White. It's at the administration building on 701 Main Street. The phone numbers and the email and all of that is there for you all to keep up with this and know what's going on. I would like to say to you all, I thank you again for naming the Benton Harbor Public Library after me. And please know that we're working on it. The streets were worked on. We have new sidewalks. We talked to them and they came up to the door as far as they could. And they put some new pipes, and I'm hoping that it's with the lead and all of that, all the way into the building up to where it's connected up to the furnace. So we've had a lot of work done there, and know that I'm in touch with City Manager Mitchell and his office, and we're working on this, and I'm seeing the different companies that do this. So I thank you so much for that. I'm just trying to see. I just wanted to say you all are in a magnificent position right now that things are happening in the city of Benton Harbor because you have money. Finally, you have money to do the things that you need to do. In addition to the wonderful things that you've done with the tax collection, I voted for that, for all the things that are happening. And so I ask you all to pray that you all will work together and that our citizens will help you by keeping their properties clean and picked up and all that. I'm gonna do what I can to help make things well. And I want to say to you that Berrien County is in real good shape fiscally, FISCALLY. We've done a lot of work again, and this weather has helped, with the bridges, with the streets. You all see all the different things. And it's Michigan Department of Transportation, it's Berrien County Road Department, it's the city of Benton Harbor. We're working on all kinds of things and making them right. And so I just thank you all for this opportunity this year to have been able to come to you and talk to you, and hope that it will continue and that I'll be welcome. And I wish you happy holidays and God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. This brings us to our next agenda item, which is a presentation. I want to yield the floor to Commissioner Edward Isom to introduce this group.
Yes, your Honorable Mayor, before you tonight, this will be a presentation by the Unified Civic Monument Project Group that we've been working on over a year now. And here to present is Tammy Moore and Lynn Clayton. Step up, please. We've been doing a lot. This group has grown and bringing unity to both cities. I am the co-chair of this committee, and Mayor of St. Joe is the Goose, is the co-chair. And who's coming now is Sharon Brown and Mac Brown, part of the Civic Monument Group. Thank you.
Thank you for having us this evening, Honorable Mayor and Commissioners in the city. We're so pleased to be here on behalf of the Unified Civic Monuments Project. My name is Tammy Miller. I work for the Krasel Art Center, and we are a partner on this project, along with many others. But this project is the vision of Sharon and Mac Brown, founders of the African American History and Literature Gallery, who are joining us right now. So we're pleased to share with you. We have several updates about this project, but just a quick recap. This is a project to commemorate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in both the cities of Benton Harbor and St. Joseph, Michigan. In addition, it is our hope to honor the legacy of social justice and honor civil rights in our communities as well, through a secondary figure or a symbolic sign to that. As Commissioner Isom mentioned, we've been working on this for over a year. Last month, we interviewed 4 artist finalists for the project. They were artists from across the nation. Those recordings are available at unifiedmonuments.org, and they're really fascinating just to see artist perspectives looking at this project and looking at our community and seeing what they're seeing and hearing what they're thinking about and how they're imagining this project. We are narrowing down the selection, and I do encourage you, if you have the time, to please check out unifiedmonuments.org under the Artist tab. And in particular, you might want to look at Harold Woodbridge and David Allen Clark, which is an artist team working together. I'm going to provide fundraising updates and a little bit about the location, and then let you guys go. Does that sound like a plan? Okay. To date, we have raised we are at $100,000 in our fundraising efforts for this project. We're very pleased to be there. We've received grants from the Frederick S. Upton Foundation, the Southwestern Michigan Tourist Council, the St. Joseph Benton Harbor Rotary Foundation, United Federal Credit Union, Meyer, First Source Bank, Lake Michigan College Foundation, Shern's Auto Center, and we have $7,716 in individual contributions from the community members for this project. So we're really proud of that work so far. Yes, you may.
I think it's important to let them know how much. We like to know how much. Usually, don't we? 40,000 from the Upton Foundation, 10,000 from Myers, 5,000 from the First Source.
Yeah.
Another 10,000 from Rotary. I don't want to leave anybody out. Shern's Auto, $1,000. United Federal Credit Union as well, got another
10,000.
Another 10,000. The Isom family, $1,000. Don't want to leave anybody out.
Well, she mentioned Sharon, but Sharon also did.
Yes. And just as FYI, those families, Isom and Sharon, their names will be at the monument. any family or organization that donates up to $1,000. Their name is at the monument.
In addition to the work that we've been doing fundraising and just raising awareness about this project, we've also been attending community events, including Riverfest, Juneteenth, a variety of other events, where we've asked community members to give feedback on where they would like to see the monuments realized. And so really critical to tonight's update is we want to share with you the feedback that we've received from the community about the monument's placement. In general, the community has said that they would like the monuments to be in a location where there's free parking available. It must be in a location where groups are able to gather safely and to provide and to do public programming around the monuments. Ideally, they would like to see the monuments in a city park. And ideally, there would be a path between the two locations, the St. Joseph and Benton Harbor locations, that would be walkable for future community events, such as having a sidewalk the whole way and not more than a couple of miles apart. And ideally, they would like the monuments in each city to have a spiritual kindredness with one another. And that was the general feedback from the community. Specific locations in Benton Harbor that rose to the top included Yarborough Park, City Center Park, and Morton Park. Those were the top 3 locations that people voted for. We put out maps, they had stickers, they could place the stickers in the parks, and they could also write in where they would like to see the monuments. So this is the part of the project that we want to share with you specifically because we need your feedback. We need your, obviously we're going to need your support as we move forward if this is going to be on city property. It is our desire that we would be able to have a location in Benton Harbor finalized by March of 2022. So we're here tonight to share that update, invite you to share any feedback at this time or to share it with us outside of this meeting, because it's a critical project and we're really excited about it. So.
There is one that was forgotten because you mentioned Riverfest. There was another $500 also that was donated. Well, we deemed it toward the mountain, so we appreciate that. I wanted to make sure you guys knew that. The updates, things are moving quite quickly. We really are stretching ourselves to be in multiple places at multiple times with people that are calling, wanting a presentation, wanting to hear more about the project. I just got a beautiful letter today, even from the outskirts, outside the cities, which is from Indiana, a foundation that's looking to do something also toward the monument. That this was in the P.O. box. I'm not quite sure how it came, where they heard about it, but it was there. And so, long overdue, just a baby that's been carried for so many years, over 15 years, the vision for Benton Harbor. This is just, please know this is just the beginning. I know that all of you know that our legacies and our cultures here in Benton Harbor are lacking. And we could just come up with a whole list that we could just go through and keep us busy until we go home. But this is the beginning. And so we have said this before here, even with the gallery, over 3 years now, the gallery's been over there on Broadway, is that we're not interested in trying to do any of this by ourselves. It just doesn't work out that way. It must be a unified effort. The legacy, the children, the young people, the city, and when this is talked about, when it's heard about, even when we're not here anymore, it should not be just a name or a title, but it should be the community. And so we tried to do everything we could to make our efforts so that you would feel welcome to be a part. I wanted to read something to you first, and if we could, and we got 3 and 3. Can we all get 3? We're gonna be good.
No, we got
Oh, it's just 1, 3. Okay.
Yeah, we
All
got
right.
a long
Okay.
agenda tonight.
Okay. All right. We're good. If you're good, we're good.
I'm in full support, so
Thank you. Any questions from the commission?
thank
Just
you.
some words of encouragement to keep up the good work.
Thank you. One last thing, though, I would like to do at your leisure, because of the fact that last when we met, there were some of you beautiful, kind people that said you were ready to give and you wanted to give.
So,
We
ma'am.
did not have the,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna leave that there, if I could, pretty please. I want them to know that we welcome what you offered.
Thank you so much.
Mayor, does she have any cards?
Yes.
Please leave a card.
I was just gonna say about the t-shirts, or people can actually purchase t-shirts to help with this.
Yes, the t-shirts, and then there's also, yard sale signs that you may have been seeing on the corner. Those are also, if you wanna inquire.
They can leave right there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
This brings us to citizens' comments or public participation. You can register, or tonight we'll just have you just come forward for those who would like to participate.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Lee Reed, Chairman of the Planning Commission. I'd like to thank all of the commissioners who came out December the 14th to tour the awards. We had an opportunity to look at existing conditions and any other conditions that they wanted to bring to the consultant's attention. Many of the citizens learned of it, and they also would like to have an opportunity to come out and tour also. So the commissioners that at large who did not have an opportunity to come out, we have arranged for you all to have a tour also. So nobody was left out. And this will be existing conditions, so I'd like everybody to know that. Also on tonight's agenda, I see where we have a resolution of support for the donation of the building at 145 Main Street by Whirlpool to Spectrum Health. For those of you who don't know, the Center for Better Health has been very popular with people in the services that they offer. Some of those services would be access to healthcare, childcare, parenting resources, food assistance, financial planning assistance, certain government benefits, TANF, SSI, SSFDI, Medicaid, and Medicare. They also offer some types of housing assistance, information regarding legal help and legal services, mental health services, and transportation assistance. And although they're giving donating the building to Spectrum Health, it would definitely benefit the citizens of Benton Harbor by expanding their facility. And I've seen the building, it's an excellent location, and Spectrum Health will be in charge of it. So this is a good thing. The other thing that I would support would be the resolution for the creation of a harbor coalition for our current master planning, looking forward. Being involved in the harbor, its maintenance and its governance would be very important for the city. So I support that activity also. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Hello, Mayor Mohammed, Commissioners, community. My name is Lynn Clayton. I am a lifelong resident of Benton Harbor and current resident. And I just wanted to do just a very short plea to you to engage you in part of this project. Some people ask, why should we have monuments? Why should we spend money on that? And I'm an educator and an artist. And when I was growing up, my mom worked right in that hall next door. And I walked every day from junior high or the high school to the library or to sit out in the park. And I think that it's really important for us to come together as a community. We've been very separated, and art is a way to bind ourselves together. And for our kids to have this amazing monument made by these incredible artists. I mean, the people that applied are absolutely incredibly talented. So we really want all of you to be part of this. And we just are asking for you to go to our website, get involved, have a conversation, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Emma Kennard.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'd like to speak and I want everybody to really understand me very clearly where I'm coming from. This is a predominantly Black community. And I see that when we've got money coming in, many people come from so many places. I've heard of that recently. And on the statistics of Benton Harbor, others benefit in getting jobs. I'd like to see that some of Benton Harbor's people get these jobs. Well, they say a lot of us are not qualified. We have qualified people here now. We have a lot of digging and everything. Emma Marsh is doing a lot of the work and everything. But we need someone to oversee the work that is being done, to see that it's done right. Because we have the water plant. I don't know, you can give me an answer, whether we finished paying for the updating of the water plant. I know that we had a lot of violations there that we had to fix. So you can give us that information at the end, whether we have finished paying or how close we are. Why is there so many violations there? Have they cleaned up the violations and all of that? But we need an engineer that is not hired by the persons that's doing the work. Independent engineer to come in to oversee that this work is done right. Now you might say, well, we don't have any Black engineers here. Yes, we do. We got one here tonight. And I want you to know he knows the landscape of Benton Harbor. He has worked for Emma Marsh. So Emma Marsh knows the landscape of Benton Harbor. But we want somebody independent to oversee what is being done, to see that it's done right, make a report back regularly to let you all know what is being done, and you can report to the state what is being done to let you know you're on point. I don't think that's unreasonable. We have someone that look like us. I'm not saying exclude anybody else, but I'm saying as a minority, this young man is here and he's ready to work and he is qualified, educated, well educated as an engineer. And I'd like to see him have the track record of overseeing this work that's supposed to be done in 18 months. We have to speed it up. So what's wrong with seeing that it's not a Band-Aid put on anything, but the work is done properly? So I'm asking y'all to see that this young man comes on board and does do this work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Arjun Wright.
Hi, good evening. My name is Ogden Wright. Ms. Kennard just referred to me a few moments ago. I'm here to represent my company, which I just started, called Zamaka. It means the land of wood and water. The intent for us is to do infrastructure development services. So working on state and municipal construction projects as it relates to roadway and public utilities. So water services, storm and sanitary networks, that kind of thing. We are a small team at the moment. We're composed of three, myself being a certified engineering training. I recently spent a stint at Elvin Marsh Consultants as a civil engineer, where I worked on coastal and roadway development projects, including projects in the city that included Clay Street and Maple Street and Vineyard Avenue. So we have myself. We are also including my partner and friend Jordan Martin. He is a mechanical engineer by training, but worked as a field engineer for a couple of years in Texas, working on oil pipelines and facilities. So he's somewhat aware of pipeline services, and or engineering advisor or legal consultant himself is a adult at Western Michigan, a licensed civil engineer who has done work with the state conducting research on material durability and sustainability. Is currently working on a big project in Detroit right now, guaranteeing the sustainability of the materials. Our lab is currently set up in Benton Harbor. We're going through the process of accreditation to ensure that our lab complies with state processes. And I genuinely do believe that we have something valuable to bring to the table in terms of assisting the city and its residents with inspecting the lead water line replacement project, making sure that it's built according to project plans and specifications, as well as being able to test the materials to ensure that they perform adequately and sufficiently and per, the best value for your money. So thank you for the opportunity to speak to you all this evening, and I look forward to your consideration. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Michael Hoy.
Good evening. Here on behalf of Benton Harbor Strong. Benton Harbor Strong started out to be just 8 members. From those 8 members in the last 5 years, we've gone from 8 members to 32 to 68 to now we're up to 116 strong in the city of Benton Harbor. We're happy to announce that we're going to be retiring a position of Ethel Clark as part of our Benton Harbor Strong team. We're taking on Mrs. Ruthie Harrelson as our ambassador for Benton Harbor Strong. As we work without the county, we take you on as our ambassador, and we look forward to working with you throughout the county, throughout Benton Harbor, keeping us strong. Thank you for all your years of commitment, all your years of passion from the Benton Harbor school system. I know what you did there. I have all the history on that. You cleared a path for a lot of people, and we're going to continue that, and hopefully we're going to work together and continue keeping Benton Harbor strong. Thank you.
Marvin Haywood.
Yeah. Good evening. I come today because we have a situation in regards to the letter that was sent out. I'm trying to get an understanding of it because the news is saying we can't use the water. But the letter that was sent out, it said the water is okay to use and we don't need the board. So it's a couple of conflicting statements, and the residents are somewhat, don't know which way to go because there's so much different information that's being put out. As we move forward into 2022, hopefully we can get a clear conception of what the vision is for the city of Benton Harbor, or is there a vision for the city of Benton Harbor? I know there's been a lot of agendas that's been put forth that have been put forth by others that we have voted on. And I would like to see the fruit of the labor as we move into 2022. There's a lot of money going to come down the pipeline from the federal government, from the state government. And if we don't have the right individuals at the table that understand the key in the language and the content in the language when there's various things that we vote on, we're going to fall short. Hopefully, as we bring on new members to the commission, we can get people that understand this language. And Ruth, we thank you for the service that you've done. But as we move forward, we have to be very, very cautious of what's going on. One of the things that I'm surprised about, we don't even have a finance director. Now, out of all the things you have for years, I remember for years, we didn't have a community development director. It's all these positions. This is a major position, a finance director. I mean, we got to have that. We paid Planet Moran a lot of money. A lot of money. And we need an in-house finance director to track that money. And I would suggest that you go to Munitrex. That would track every dollar being spent in this city. Munitrex would track it and have an update of everything. You can have a computer system. They will track every dollar to make sure it's adequately spent, what it's spent on, what it's spent for, and all of these things that are necessary to ensure that the citizens and the community is well aware of every dollar being spent. Because it's a lot of money going to come down the pipeline, especially when you talk about the airport. And I'm trying to figure out how is it that Benton Harbor and St. Joe both own the airport. I haven't got a grips of it, but I know it's going to be a lot of money into that airport. Trust me, the federal dollars that's been given through the infrastructure bill. So it's a lot of things that's coming down the pipeline, but we have to have good overseers and people that are built with integrity. Because as we move forward, like I said, ain't nothing been done in the inner city. That's one of the things that we hope for. They say, yeah, everything's been happening, but what is happening in the inner city? Downtown looks beautiful, but what has actually been done in the inner city to beautify that space that we have? Thank you.
I'd like to thank everyone for participating in the citizens or public comment portion. This brings us to the consent calendar. Is there a motion for the approval of the consent calendar or are there items that should be separated?
Separation.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Adams.
Thank you. Construction installation, finishing and equipping, improving existing water supply system, adopt a resolution to amend section 42, tax exemption ordinance, resolution to approve the amendment to utility assistance resolution 062121-3, adopt a resolution to authorize payment of premium pay, adopt a resolution approving notice to intent, React 94 requirements and declaration of intent to reimburse water supply system improvements, adopt a resolution to approve horticulture special use permit facility, and adopt a resolution support of the donation of building at 145 Main Street by Whirlpool to Spectrum Health Lakeland to expand its Center for Better Health. And lastly, and not least, but adopt a resolution approving the creation of a harbor coalition under PA 7 of 1967.
So that leaves it appears to be one item. Thank you. Is there a motion for the approval of the consent calendar?
So moved.
Motion is made by Commissioner Singleton. Is support? Support. By Mayor Pro Tem Seats. Please call the roll.
Adams, Commissioner Adams.
The roll is being called.
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards.
Yes.
Commissioner Harrelson.
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson.
No.
Commissioner Henry.
Yes.
Commissioner Ison.
Yes.
Commissioner Seats, Mayor Pro Tem Seats.
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton.
Yes.
Mayor Muhammad.
Yes.
Motion passes.
This brings us to the first separated item, adopting an ordinance to provide for the construction, installation, furnishing, and equipping of improvements to the existing water supply system of the city of Benton Harbor, in parentheses, Booker funds, which is referencing Senator Cory Booker, who authored a bill to provide distressed cities with funding for water system and lead service lines.
So moved.
Motion is made by Commissioner Singleton. Is there support? It is supported by Commissioner Adams. Is there discussion? Chair recognizes Commissioner Adams.
I had just one question after going over the document, and I saw the amount of years, but it didn't have an actual payment.
So this will be forgiven.
Oh, so it's forgiven. Oh,
Correct.
then by all means. Yes.
Call for the question.
Support.
Pardon me?
I'd like to have make a question on this document. Before we end the discussion, please, sir.
Chair recognizes Third Ward Commissioner Henry.
Thank you. This is a fairly large document And I'm wondering if the attorney looked at it. And I'm also wondering if, and I kind of tried to read it, it's very difficult for me to read because it repeated itself so many times. But how much, if it says forgivable, where is the word, where does the section say forgivable? I'd like to be able to read that. I know what Mr. Booker put it in place, but this is ours, and I need to know if the attorney read it and his opinion, and where it says it's forgivable. Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, we really gotta keep, I'm hoping we can keep order and, speak when recognized, so we can have a professional city council meeting. I plead and ask that we abide by our own rules. I would like to recognize the city attorney.
Yes, Mayor. I did review the ordinance and I did speak with the city's bond counsel who prepared the ordinance in anticipation of being prepared for this evening. And in the ordinance itself, it does not say forgivable, but it is through the Booker grant, the federal grant, and it's being routed through the Safe Drinking Water revolving funds. This is something that was on the agenda for the third quarter for 2022, but because of everything going on, it's been accelerated. And we're putting it on the agenda because we're trying to get the funds ready and available to do the work in the city. So, but while it doesn't say it in there, this is through the federal grant, and we're just having to do the jump through the hoops and doing the appropriate paperwork. And it just has to be set up as a loan repayment, but it is forgiven. It's going to be forgiven.
One more question, sir. Is this project going to take care of all the findings that we just got dinged with? And who's going to handle it? Last time we got $13 million, and we're still paying the debt off. If you wanted to know, it's still there. And I need to know if this project is going to completely make our water plant up to code and the way the state wants it. And that's going to be important because it doesn't seem like the person that the state had us over the water plant know too much about what they're doing because we got so many dings. So I want to make sure that this is going to take care everything that's in our water plant that's bad now and in the future. And it also requires that kind of money, jobs for our people. There's jobs. If this is HUD money, there's jobs under Section 3.
This is not HUD money.
Well, if it's not HUD money, then let it be. It's jobs under our resolution. It says 25% goes to subcontractors as well as jobs for the city residents. So if we're not going to do that, I'm gonna have a problem voting yes. And so someone needs to tell me that that is in the process and that will happen.
Chair recognizes Mayor Pro Tem Seats.
Yes, Honorable Mayor, it's on Michigan.gov. You can go research and look for it yourself. It has principal forgiveness all throughout it. It's through the DWSRF, principal forgiveness, also through Michigan Clean Water Drinking Plan, the Water Infrastructure Fund transfer, which is called the Booker funding, which was back as far as October 4th, 2019, says through 2022, it talks about population that served 50,000 equals 3 million, population that served 50,000 to 99,000 goes up to 5 million, and keeps going up to 10 million, but it does say that it is forgivable. Then it talks about cross correlation and set asides and all kind of other things. Honestly, I would hate to hear anybody who is on this board with as much as we've been through the last 4 months with people saying they got all kind of different kind of water and finding out they don't have that kind of water. For us to not do something to improve the water, whether they forgive it or not, you have to do something. You're talking about collapsing the water plant. If you don't fix it, you have to make a move. This is the City of Benton Harbor Commission saying that we're willing to do whatever it takes to get it done. If they do have forgiveness that is part of the resolution and we don't understand it, what it's saying, then let's make that clear. But if it's saying that it is forgivable and there is forgiveness in the grant, then it behooves us to move forward because you don't have enough money to get it from nowhere else to pay it back. And if it's talking about your water plant, that we do know that we hired a company that did not do what they're supposed to do, obviously. But it's not up to them to do what they're supposed to do. It's up to the governing body right now to act and act fast to get this done. If we're talking about 18 months, to get it done, then we have to start moving quicker. And this is a step in the right direction. I will support and I will hope those of us that wanted to fix the water plant will, and it behooves us also not to just vote, but go to the water plant. See what's going on down there. It's your water plant. You ought to get up and go down there and not Monday morning quarterback them, but find out what's going down there and see what's going on at your own water plant. But I will support this because I have read it over and over, and the document is not long. If you look up Booker Funds, Michigan.gov, it's not a long document. It talks about the funds being reimbursed. Thank you, Honorable Mayor, for this time.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Singleton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. Yeah, I did read the documentation, reference to Booker Grant, and how it operates and it do talk about the forgiveness and how it works in there. And again, we definitely have to look at protecting and doing what we can to keep one of the greatest assets that we hold. So I think getting this, doing this is, support. I can support it because this is definitely a step in the right direction of getting, being able to protect that asset. The people ask, for us to get it fixed, no excuses and none of that stuff, but, we just gotta get it done. I think this opportunity is a step in that direction, along with quite a few other fundings that's coming down. The price is big, and we gotta, take what we can get, and then be wise, as we do it. So I can't support this.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Adams.
Thank you. And in my Joe Harris voice, not so fast. There was a young lady from Avonmarsh that sit right here. Am I right?
Yeah.
No.
Let me just say this.
No.
Please.
There was a young lady that gave a presentation in our committee meeting, and it's just coming back to me after listening to what the attorney just said and listening to the question. And I'm glad that I separated this item because it seemed to me like she was just talking about administrative pay with this $3,000. The stuff that I read on this document that was not present during committee to allow us to ask the questions that needed be that this document states, which is very lengthy here. It may be short on the website. It may be even deceiving on the website. But we can't sit up here and be making decisions and have not fairly gotten the answers that we need to be head bobbing for everything that comes before us without clear understanding. I know I can't and will not. And I just heard the attorney state that there was 3 months. March, what's the rush? We had our First Lady, Vice President, Kamala Harris, make a statement the other day about other funding that's coming down and to be prepared for, just like the young man that came up and presented earlier. And the 25% of residents, we need people trained, not just for administrative costs. And the only thing that I would have probably bobbed my head, yeah, if I had not saw the length of years with no amount behind it on this document that was not present during our committee meeting. That could have answered and cleared up a lot of this, that we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Thank you, Commissioner Adams. So this goes back to, as Mayor Pro Tem Seat stated, and this is for just the education and edification of the public. So this goes back to 2019, when the city of Benton Harbor had 2 public hearings regarding a $15 million revolving loan that included the 3.7 from the Booker funds that would be forgiven. So the project that this young man said he worked on, clay, pipestone, all the work you saw on Highland, the sidewalks, the trees, coming up Pipestone, Cedar, going down Britain, all that work that you saw, the renovation of the water tower, that's a part of this project. This is the 3.7 that's coming now. We've already approved this project in 2019.
Administrative pay, okay.
This is not administrative pay. This $3.7 million is going to replace over 600 lead service lines in this city.
All due respect, Mayor.
No. Let me, because I'll let you speak, but I have to speak and give the facts.
Well, those should have came out in.
No. This came out. We've had 2 public hearings. We had another in May 4th of 2020. And then we approved an ordinance amendment May 18th of 2020. This is all connected. But this was a 5-year project. And the Booker funds now are being released to the city so we can do this part, which is lead lines. So we've been working on lead lines, replacing lead lines since 2019.
Understandable.
But we didn't have the money then.
Understandable.
We just had to apply for it. We got it, and now it's time to approve it and accept it so we can change the people's lead lines.
Can I ask a question?
No, Commissioner, I'll let you
No,
speak,
this is
but I
for
have
you.
no, it's not for me.
No, we need people.
I'm going, no.
Present to us.
Commissioner, please.
That was deceitful.
So again, this $3.7 million is going to replace over 600 lead lines in this city, which would take us the 5.6 million from the EPA is 888 lines. The 600 plus with this money will take our lead service removal to 87%. So what we're approving tonight is for the safety and well-being of our residents, something that we've been working on since 2019. And for us to get to this day where we have to approve just to receive the money and act like we don't know or we haven't been informed, maybe we would sleep at the wheel. I don't know. But I've been waiting for this day.
Me too.
Because this is what we've been working on since 2019, while some people were saying we wasn't doing nothing. But this is the vindication that we've been working on this, We bringing results, and we're gonna get more results on behalf of the people. Not one commissioner, not a mayor, but the whole body and the staff that's been working on it. So there are no other, I call for.
There is, Honorable Mayor.
I didn't get my question answered, Mayor, so I will come back to the floor when you give it to me.
And I
And
have.
as far as contracts, for those who, I'm just saying, because I know people talking about residents working and this and that, and we want everybody that's qualified to work. But when you're dealing with this type of assignment, it has to be done mathematically, as this gentleman, precise. So we can't have people doing work that don't know what they're doing. I went to Flint, I talked with the mayor, I heard horror stories where people's property getting messed up, everything. So we got to do this right, and we got one time to do it. I'm gonna yield to Commissioner Henry. This will be your third time speaking, but I'm gonna honor Commissioner Henry.
Well, I hear you saying that this is not the opportunity to ask about the jobs.
Because that's how it's
Don't interrupt me, please, Mayor.
But I gotta keep you on the agenda.
You gave me the floor, Mayor. Please let me finish.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So I'll take my question back and I'll come back to it at another date. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Commissioner Adams.
All I was saying, because there's no way that I would be the last person to hold up progress. So don't throw a dart at me. But when somebody comes before us with an item on an agenda at our committee meetings and give a presentation and we ask all the right questions, or so we think we're asking all the right questions, and receive deceitful information that really had nothing to do with the document and what's being presented tonight. Why was it even on the agenda, and why was she even giving a presentation on something that we talk more about administrative costs for Avonmarsh and jobs, training for the residents than anything else with this $3 million.
If you read,
Okay, I'm just saying though. So you call for the question.
Mr. Manager, question has been called for.
Commissioner Adams,
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards,
Yes.
Commissioner Harrelson,
Yeah.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Mayor Muhammad.
Yes.
Motion passes.
This brings us to the next item, adopt an ordinance to amend section 42, tax exemption ordinance. Is there a motion for the approval?
Motion.
Motion is made by Commissioner Edwards. Is there support? Support. And is supported by Commissioner Henderson. Is there discussion? Chair recognizes Commissioner Henry.
I would like the city manager to explain this to the residents, what our purpose is for this adopting an ordinance.
Mr. Manager.
Or the mayor can read it. It don't make no difference as long as the people hear what the ordinance.
I thank you, Commissioner Henry.
Thank you.
The tax exempt. I'll read it. It says, it's pretty lengthy, but I'll read the resolution.
Mayor, would you like me to summarize?
Please.
All right, so this is an amendment to an existing ordinance for the pilot, which is the payment in lieu of taxes for Hope 6 project. The project was originally developed and finished in 2006 or 7, and the statutes in Michigan allow for the payment in lieu of taxes, which is allows for low-income housing in exchange for not having to pay real estate taxes. They pay this, like, the pilot, which is an agreed upon percentage of net income generated from the low-income housing. There's got to be a certain percentage of income limits as to the residents of the project. And as long as those limits are met and the payments continue, as well as some other obligations from both sides, this goes, the pilot lasts for up to 10 years. And the percentage can be anywhere from, I suppose, 0 to 10%. And this is, I believe, the third amendment to this particular project. The last amendment was in 2019 for 3 years. And this one was requested back then to be a 10-year extension. But there were issues that needed to be discussed, and it was a 3-year extension. And so now the developers, the owners of the Hope 6 have come and asked for the city to ask for that 10-year extension on that pilot.
Thank you. And this allows for the residents who live in these homes, it allows for them to pay their rent based upon their income. Otherwise, if these homes were not under the pilot, then they would be under another type of Michigan compiled law tax, where the people would not be able to afford it based on their income and would be evicted.
Oh, was that a question?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's a matter of fact. Chair recognizes Commissioner Adams.
Thank you, Mayor Robin. I probably would not have asked to separate this item had it said something to the effect of Hope 6 project. But thank you for explaining it, because I didn't realize in my research over the years how a pilot actually worked. So if we don't allow them this pilot, then that means that the property tax goes up, which means that the poorest of the poor of low-income housing, rent will go up. So, for any ears that didn't know that, you probably just learned something, and it took time for me to research to find out. So, of course, I would support this.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Singleton.
They got just quick question through the attorney, through the chair. Is that, so it was 3 years and now he requesting is it 10 or is it the 3 plus 7?
No, it's for 10 years, so from 21 to 2031.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I was at the committee meeting for this particular item, and I remember one of the questions that was asked about if this wasn't renewed, what would happen to the Hope 6 project, because they did do a great job with explaining what this was and how it would affect the residents who lived in those particular homes. And the gentleman that was presenting said that the program would collapse if we did not renew the pilot or extend that particular pilot. So it was explained very thoroughly in the committee meeting about what this was and how it would affect the residents. And so if we did not approve this, that if the residents, the program would actually collapse and the people would not be able to, as the mayor said, afford those homes. So thank you.
Call for the question. Pardon me, Chair recognizes Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, thank you, Honorable Chair. Just kind of a question, after this is approved, is there a starting date for this? Is there an estimated started date for this? We'll start 2023, 24, if it's extended to 31, I'm looking at.
It continues, I mean, it's current now through the end of this year, and this ordinance extends what's current and has been since 2007 through 2031.
Thank you.
Mr. Mitchell.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards,
Yes.
Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Commissioner Adams,
Yes.
Commissioner Harrelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Mayor Muhammad.
Yes.
Motion passes.
The next item is adopt a resolution to approve the amendment to Utility Assistance Resolution 06212-1-3. Motion is made by Commissioner Edwards.
Support.
It is supported by Mayor Pro Tem Seats. Is there discussion? Chair recognizes Commissioner Henry.
Same scenario. I need the residents to hear this resolution and what it's actually there for. Thank you.
Mayor, would you like me to take this again?
I was going to ask the gentle lady from the third ward if she had her agenda, she could present it.
It's your agenda. Why are you asking me to present it?
Well, it's our agenda, but I would.
Well, it's yours. You put it on there. Somebody put it on there. I didn't do it. So no, I will not. You do.
Thank you for your courtesy, Commissioner Henry.
You're welcome.
I yield to the city attorney.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Commissioner Henry, I didn't put this on the agenda either, but I will do my best. So because of the bonds that were issued 10, 14 years ago to improve the water department, the water plant, whenever we take a bond for utilities, the city has to collect the service fees. We're required to by statute, by ordinance, which means if we don't collect those or attempt to collect those through all the methods that the city is allowed through the statute, then we are in dire need, or potentially violating or breaching the bond contract. And that is why we saw a lot of water fees on the tax bills during this last roll. And so this is going to allow the citizens, this is going to allow the city to provide relief for those water bills that were put on the tax rolls, with the understanding that we know that the issues with the water going on, and people not being able to use it, but the city still being required to charge for it. This is going to reimburse those funds, and we have to do this by ordinance and resolution.
Thank you.
Is that sufficient?
That's sufficient to me.
Chair recognizes Mayor Pro Tem Seats.
Honorable Mayor, City Commission, residents, this is to help everybody. Every single person that lives in the city of Benton Harbor or has a business in the city of Benton Harbor, this is to help you. So whoever has a water bill that's out there that has past due, this affects you. This is clearing that bill, so y'all go back on the radio and tell them, ain't nobody charging for bad water. This takes care of all that, all right? So I want y'all to, as the songwriter said, go run and tell that. that the city is paying your water bill, and they paying the back water bills up. So this is commendable for this commission and for this body to not only say we're gonna fix it, but now we're gonna pay you back. And get it off their taxes immediately, because it's a tricky game when it gets to the county. Because the county starts adding extra fees to every dime that is sent over there. 15%. So we have to hurry up and get that done, where you have residents that have started accumulating fees on top of that water bill and the rubbish and whatever those little tricks we play, put on their tax bill, but we gotta hurry up and get that. My question is, Honorable Mayor, to our city staff, whoever it may be, is there already a number that's there, and how instantaneous, or is this going to happen? Is this going to be something that happens quickly, or something that's going to be drug out to 60 days, 90 days, or 30 days? How rapid can we provide the residents with this relief? Thank you, Honorable Mayor, for your leadership on this.
If I could, I'd like to read the resolution. Resolution Amendment to Utility Assistance, Resolution 06212113. Whereas the City of Benton Harbor, as a result of the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic's negative impact on residents within the city, has recognized the need for utility assistance to the city residents that utilize, the city's water and sewer services. And whereas the City of Benton Harbor is a recipient of the U.S. Department of Treasury coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds from Section 602B and 603B of the Social Security Act, the act as added by Section 9901 of the American Rescue Plan Act, published AO number 1172, ARPA funds. And whereas the City of Benton Harbor has been designated for years by the Department of Housing and Urban Development as an area of low or moderate income, and whereas per Department of Treasury, the 31 CFR Part 335 interim final rule published May 17, 2021, assistance to households is an eligible use when provided to areas of low or moderate income, because it is presumed that these areas experience negative economic impacts resulting from the pandemic, whereas per the Department of Treasury interim final rule published May 17, 2021, is recognized that economic disparities that existed prior to the COVID-19 public health emergency amplified the impact of the pandemic among low income and minority groups. Whereas the City of Benton Harbor Resolution 062121-3 that provided utility assistance to aid low-income subsidized and Section 8 households will be amended to include all residents that have active utility accounts in the City of Benton Harbor, because the negative impact were realized by all households utilizing water, sewer, and trash services of the city. And whereas the City of Benton Harbor will provide an economic impact utility credit to all active City of Benton Harbor utility services accounts that will be applied to their utility bills to offset the economic harm as a result of the pandemic. And whereas the economic impact utility credit will be applied to accounts that are in current status as well as those that are delinquent. And whereas the amount of utility assistance provided with the city's ARPA fund will be modified from $300,000 authorized in Resolution 06212-1-3 and increased to $1 million. And therefore be it further resolved that the mayor and city commission authorize the city manager and staff to administer the amendment to Resolution 06212-1-3 and provide all households with active utility accounts with an economic impact utility credit utilizing ARPA funds received by the city. Chairman recognizes Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My question is, it's all Benton Harbor residents. And it says current active. If it's covering the period of the pandemic or COVID-19, if someone was shut off, we'll say 2019, early this year, 2021, if they were cut off.
There's no shut-offs.
During the whole 20?
No shut-offs. Nobody has been shut off.
So my question will be, if you're back 19 and 18, they're not covered?
This is dealing with the coronavirus pandemic and forward, which started in 2020.
So we're going from March 20. Thank you, sir.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Adams.
Thank you, Mayor Muhammad. Where does this leave us with Southwestern Michigan Action Agency and other agencies that have been helping residents with their bills? And I kind of sort of wanna think beyond what my colleague Commissioner Edwards was saying. I heard the governor say that this was going to be ongoing until this problem is solved. Is that what this document is, this resolution is stating as well?
So this resolution as it stands is the city council taking action to provide residents with immediate relief. Like as soon as this motion passes, we already have $9.8 million sitting in our account for our ARPA funds. That's ready to be released. Delinquent tax bills, where the utility was added, will be reversed. The county will reissue because those balances have been addressed. And the residents and Commissioner Henderson, and I believe you.
Yeah.
I won't say you, pardon me, Commissioner Adams, talked about residents who have been paying their bill, who have been on time, and have been in a position to be current, should be awarded as well. And this does that by the ARPA funds. So, and I'll speak in my comments on what's being worked on statewide.
Okay.
As it relates to water credits to the city, but that would have to come through the state legislature signed by the governor. But this is where local government is taking control and taking action.
Okay, and I of course, I'm going to support it. And when you get to your states and moving forward, Honorable Mayor, this, please, it was something that she stated publicly, and we, in my constituents, intend to hold her at her word.
Thank you.
Until this problem is solved.
I call for the question. Chair recognizes Commissioner.
One more quick question, Mayor. Water relief, is that including sewer?
That's including everything.
Everything. Thank you.
Mr. Manager, please call the roll.
Commissioner Adams?
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards?
Yes.
Commissioner Harrelson?
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Henry?
Yes.
Commissioner Isom?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem C?
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Mayor Muhammad?
Yes.
Motion passes.
This brings us to the next item on the agenda. Adopt a resolution authorizing payment of premium pay.
Make a motion.
Motion is made by Commissioner Edwards and is supported by Commissioner Henderson. Is there discussion? Chair recognizes, Mayor Pro Tem Seats.
Honorable Mayor, with all due respect, I do believe this is part of the pay for them being, in the way during the COVID pandemic. These people have worked diligently during the pandemic. We were supposed to be paying people, what is the name for it? Hazard pay, all right. So AEP was paying hazard pay, AT&T, everybody else was paying hazard pay. And these young men have been working diligently. I sat out there one night.
Please, Pro Tem has the floor.
Scared me then, man. We were there tonight at the water break at Harbor Shores, and our men worked out there all night long. And some of them I asked a question. I said, "Are you getting paid overtime?" They didn't get a dime extra for being out there all night long. Everybody else was asleep. Everybody else was doing their thing. These men were out there working. You have police officers who've been underpaid for years. We have the lowest paid police department in the county. Hate to say it like that, but it's true. They've been out there fighting, whatever they gotta do. And people are handpicking our employees because of what we're paying them. If you wanna have a quality employee, you have to give them a quality wage. And there's nothing wrong with rewarding people who's risked their lives out there during that pandemic. They put themselves in harm's way. They put themselves in the way during this time. And if we can reward them with money that is for that, we're not saying take money from out the treasury to give them a Christmas party. No, we're talking about people who actually worked out there during the pandemic, who worked. And I've seen, I know he don't want no pat on the back, but Brother Meechy Meeks was working out there, and he was spending both ways all night long. I came back out there, left there about 1 o'clock. He was still out there at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, giving constant updates of what was happening. And people talk about all these training and skills and all this, but you need a willing vessel. And he was a willing vessel that day to do what was necessary to get the job done. So if we can't reward them in any kind of way, city staff, we beat them up, we beat them half to death. We talk about them, and, we call them out their names and all this other kind of stuff. But when it's time to reward somebody for good work, it's just time to do it. And the saddest thing is, I was talking to somebody the other day doing the domestic violence thing, and I noticed it had something to do with this resolution. And it's got something to do with it. Talk for an hour, then somebody talk for 5 minutes. I told the young man, I said, listen, when you whoop somebody, you put your hand on a woman, you got a mother and a daughter too. And somebody, when it come back to you and they put their hands on your daughter or your mother, you're going to wish you never put your hands on that woman. And that's the same thing when you beat yourself up. When you talk about the city, you talking about you. If you're on the city board, we a lot of us talk about it. We talk about the employees. They ain't doing nothing. We ain't doing. But then as soon as it's time to collect your check, you want to make sure she giving you the check right. So let's do what's right by these individuals who have been working hard. And like it or not, if they don't feel like they've been working hard, at least they did go out there. At least they were working during the pandemic. Because I was locked down. I wasn't trying to be around none of y'all. So they were out there working and fighting fires, and police work and public works has been out there. And even the city staff who have been working diligently, even when they shut the city hall down like Beirut, they still was working in here with the door shut, windows closed, but they were still in here working. So I think I can support this honorable mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Seats. Chair recognizes Commissioner Henry.
Thank you. Did I hear you say they worked over 40 hours and didn't get paid? Time and a half or double time? Did I hear you say that? That's against the law. You can't do that. Did I hear you say that?
Point of clarity, honorable mayor. he was getting paid his regular salary. I said he was not getting any overtime. I asked him, was he getting anything extra than his salary?
I do want to just,
Thank you, Alderman.
Okay,
I don't want
I gotta
to put a
understand.
personnel matter out into.
I got that understanding of that, I'm not taking anything personal from anything, but I just needed a clarification there, what did he say? Cause that next, would have set some bombs off for me, if nobody was getting paid overtime for working. When I get an ordinance like this and it gives me vague things, it upsets me, and so I'm gonna ask that the full body gets a list of the employees that are on the list for this great relief for them. I think it's definitely a thing to do, but I wanna know. And maybe some of you and other inquiring minds wanna know who these people are. Some people do have hazardous jobs. They're out there and then some of us don't. So I would like to see, before the money gets pushed out, who these employees are. And if I can't get it, I'd like to be known right in the public that I can't get it.
Chair recognizes the Personnel and Finance Chairman, Commissioner Ice.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. This came through the committee. We talked about this months ago about hazard pay for the employees. It's one thing when we as a commission can reward our employees that have been out there working diligently. And we got money like this, and we can reward them. The best thing you can do in life is give. And the time is now to give to the residents, give to these employees that have been out there. Some staff member doing double duty, 3 jobs. The time is now. Give reward. We got the money to do it with. God has blessed us, this city, blessed this commission to oversee this money, that we can reward our employees, make them feel good about the job they're doing. They can do a better job. They want to work for the city of Benton Harbor. Thank you, Honorable Mayor.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Commissioner Singleton properly.
Thank you, Mayor. I do concur with the chair, personnel finance. We did discuss these things. I know too often, people working in hazardous conditions. I definitely know about them. And it's still, some of the employees I, talk to, one guy almost went in my pocket. Reached out, gave him some money myself. He's been working here, almost 20 years. And now at $14 an hour, McDonald's, they pay him more than that now, But he didn't complain about it. He just say, hey man, I like what I do, and I'm dedicated, and I'm not going nowhere, but it would be nice, and to do this, especially around this time of year too, would help out, and he said, hey, he said, my family, he said, I'd like to do some things, and if this happened, they'll be able to do it. So we got the money, and it's not coming out of the treasury and taxpayers' money, anything. Money came for doing some of those things, and I think it's a wise decision, and it's giving relief. We talked about that. Even with the water relief, we also talked about our employees. Also, employees get that money. Some of them coming back too in the form of the city income tax, so it ain't a total wash. But I definitely could like to see this awarded on a 9/0.
Commissioner Adams.
Thank you. I'd like to hear the resolution, but also I'm just reminded of when the CARES Act dollars came through that we did think about our employees, did we not? We had discussed it and put something forth last year.
This
for
is
some of
it.
our- Oh, this is it? Oh, okay. Does this include new hires?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Chair recognizes the city attorney.
I just want to point out that, again, this money is coming from ARPA funds, and it says that it goes to eligible workers, and so there are pretty lengthy and strict restrictions as to who the city can provide money and pay money out to, and so that our finance director, Ms. Hildebrand, and the city staff are very careful about making sure that those monies are used for eligible, expenses. So, I mean, we're just not handing out money to employees.
So just some.
I'm not done. I'm glad to hear him say that. And Ms. Hildebrand agreed, but last year with the CARES Act dollars, before we even got the ARPA funds, we had put something towards and for our employees. But I hear him saying that it's coming out of none of it is our money. But just because it's not ours don't mean that we just give it away. There are too many other things to be done in the community for our children that lack a lot of things because they're out of hand.
Okay.
But I'm just saying that we put forth something last year from the CARES Act dollars for our employees.
Right, we hired, was it 60 youth?
We did all that, yeah.
Out of the coronavirus and that money.
We're talking about our employees.
Right, so with the employees, they have not received hazard pay, any kind of
frontline workers pay as well.
They have not received any.
Okay, so can we just be clear? That's all I need is clarity, that this is coming out of the CARES Act dollars.
This is coming out of our.
Okay, so I need that I've been asking for and haven't got any answer.
So tonight.
A clear answer in the very near future, like tomorrow, because I've only been waiting for weeks now, a clear answer as to how much of the CARES Act dollars do we have, along with the ARPA funds? Just a clear cut. No.
So we have $9.8 million that was given to the city of Benton Harbor from the American Rescue Plan Act.
What's been spent?
Which is the ARPA funds.
I want.
So these are things that really we should all know.
Thank you.
We approved $28,000 to be spent as it relates to an eligible expense for having clean, and I shouldn't have to, because this is a totally different, you know, I'm going way off.
Thank you.
But since you asked, $28,000 so we can have clean air for people coming to the city meetings, city hall, and then now the money that's being spent for the utility assistance and then the premium pay that's being given to employees. But this is from a budget that was prepared back in 2020 when we received the funding from the ARPA, and we just were putting out some ideas and ways that we can assist and use it. But as the attorney said, the staff consulted with attorneys, consulted with the federal government to make sure that when we allocate the funds, it's done on eligible expenses, because what happens is if it's not, then the city has to pay the money back. So, but we have until 2024 to spend all this money on eligible expenses. And this is the first time really that we've allocated any of the dollars. And I just don't want for us to get lost where we now have an opportunity to award our employees and we start talking about some other funding.
Then call for the question.
The question has been called for.
Commissioner Adams?
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards?
Yes.
Commissioner Harrelson?
Yeah.
Commissioner Henderson?
Abstain from the vote. abstain from the vote because my husband is employed.
Commissioner Henry? Commissioner Henry?
I didn't get my question answered, but I'm going to vote yes.
Commissioner Isom?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem C?
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Mayor Muhammad?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Oh, man.
Chair recognizes Mayor Pro Tem Seats.
I mean, this is becoming a beat down tonight. Can we figure out which ones they have questions on and then call for those resolutions? Because, I mean, you do have a young lady here tonight who wants to be sworn in, and have brought their family. And there are residents who are here. So even though we're having a real good time up here, doing what you're doing,
I mean, this
conscientious of
was,
others.
yeah, but the items were separated from the beginning, so I'm just following the agenda. But at this point, we cannot go back and clump them together. That's
Not pumping them together, Honorable Mayor, but I would ask that if there's no conversation on this call, let's call for the question, kind of.
we can't put them in the
Okay,
consent.
no problem. Thank you, Honorable Mayor.
But I will say that we don't have to have no discussion. It can be a motion and a second and vote. That'll speed things up. The next item on the agenda is adopt a resolution approving notice of intent to re-act 94 requirements and declaration of intent to reimburse water supply system improvements. Is there a motion for the approval?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion is made by Mayor Pro Tem Seats and it is supported by Commissioner Harrelson. Is there discussion?
I need clarity on it. That's why I was separated. This is part of taking care of people's business.
Mayor, can this should have been part of the first resolution.
Okay.
Regarding this is just
Please explain that.
This just allows us to.
He already explained it.
To publish the ordinance.
In the paper, right?
Correct.
Call for the question.
Mr. Manager.
Commissioner Adams?
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards?
Yes.
Commissioner Harrelson? Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Henry?
Yes.
Commissioner Isom?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem C?
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Mayor Muhammad?
Yes. Next is adopt a resolution to approve the qualified extension of a moratorium on the sale of city-owned property.
So move.
This was.
That wasn't separate.
We already.
Oh, yeah,
We did that.
That was passed.
Okay, pardon me. Adopt a resolution to approve Tetra Horticulture Special Use Permit.
Motion to approve.
Motion is made by Commissioner Adams. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner Harrelson. Is there discussion?
Just a question, if I may get an answer, and that was if in fact our director got with Mr. Terra Horticulture and ironed out that situation with environmental thing.
We resolved.
Thank you. Call for the question.
Mr. Manager.
Commissioner Adams?
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards?
Yes.
Commissioner Harrelson?
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Henry?
Yes.
Commissioner Isom?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats?
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Mayor Muhammad?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Adopt resolution of support for donation of building at 145 Main Street by Whirlpool to Spectrum Health Lakeland to expand its center
Motion to approve.
for better health. Motion is made by Commissioner Adams. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner Singleton. Is there discussion?
Like a question, why? Our hospital is gone. They moved it to St. Joe. But now they want to come back over and control all over again in the downtown area. We have an empty lot up there that we need our own hospital, our own babies born in our community. Don't y'all agree? I mean, this is what I hear from the community. But
Commissioner,
he who holds the purse strings will keep choking a Negro. Carry on.
point of order,
Mm.
Commissioner. This 145 Main Street, is this not a vacant building?
Yes.
And it doesn't belong to us.
And Lakeland Spectrum Health wants to expand from where they currently are, over 28, about 2,000 filters was passed out from that location to residents. That, according to the EPA and Eagle, those filters have been working. But they want to expand and provide more resources in the way of health, more services to residents, because the building that they're currently in is very small. And they intend to put a greater investment in the city. We don't own the building. All we're saying is that we support the investment that they want to do downtown Benton Harbor in a building that's been sitting vacant for I don't know how long, and want to help Benton Harbor residents. I don't have a problem with that. And it gives us an opportunity, I believe, to make sure that, you know, our residents are getting proper and good health care. And I think that's a good thing. Chair recognizes Mayor Pro Tem Seats.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. We seen the presentation that was done. They were telling y'all the death rate in Benton Harbor was high. Death rate in Benton Township was high because you did not have medical facilities. That study has now procured hundreds of millions of dollars. Y'all being studied like animals. You know, I didn't agree with it at that point. And I can see how we can do it, but the problem I have is I want to see it happen because a lot of us can walk from Harbor Towers and walk from what's this other thing, River Terrace, and you stay out of St. Joe. So we'll build a bigger building to give you better health care because you can't make it that far to St. Joe. The next thing you know, you won't need a dollar ride to get you there. So I do support the bigger building. I do support the investment. I do support them adding doctors to the area to provide a better service for city residents of Benton Harbor. And now, the said person who came and did the presentation, that person is more powerful now than Dr. Hamill. They're over the whole thing for racial equity for all the spectrum late and health. She got great promotion on that study of y'all being sick and not being able to get to hospital and ambulance. But my question has become now, are they gonna make that a more of an emergency room instead of a clinic? Because if you don't have any emergency access or access to other things, and I don't want this to become an ATM doctor where you cannot meet with your doctor. You have to look at him on the screen and he tells you what happened. But that's coming too. That's already been said. That's what they're gonna do. But I do support this because it's, I mean, they've been begging for years to get stuff to help us to improve our health plan, and hope they come on and get a fresh grocery store down there, get you some ability to get you some fresh vegetables or groceries, and maybe that's coming too, like fresh foods or something like that. But y'all was studied, y'all know that, y'all heard that, and now they got hundreds of millions of dollars of that study, and they're gonna put you right downtown, so you don't have to go to St. Joe, Stephenville, nowhere else, and hopefully they can put a helicopter pad on the top, because if you get real sick, they're gonna have to fly you out of here to a different place. Thank you, Honorable Mayor.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Henry.
Thank you. All I can say, it's about time that we got some medical help. Lakeland has been coming to this chambers every 3 years, and they say the same thing every 3 years. You are dying faster than any other group that we ever saw in Benton County. So it's a good thing that they're here. And another thing that I see that they're bringing services, a lot of the services that we need. And hopefully those services will be implemented by someone that looks like me. If it doesn't, then it's the same old thing that's been going on since we got here in America. So if we don't hold the people accountable, they just keep piling up money, hiring other people, not giving us medical treatment that we need. And but this is a great start for Lakeland to make amends for all the devilness that they've done to us in these last 40 years. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Singleton.
There you go, Mayor. You know, we did do presentations, and we did get, looked at those studies and things, and definitely, there's some truth in it, there's some, the death rate, the illnesses, and all that stuff, and the disparities in getting health care. But I think, they have shown, especially in this time of pandemic with the clinic downtown now, the 1,200 square feet, all the things that they, that they're doing there. Even having people that work, I stopped by, took a look, and, there is folk, that look like us, that's, working in there, and, they're getting people to, it's like a one-stop shop place where you can go in and not only your health, physical health, and your mental health, and what some of the things that may be causing some of that, the economic situation, access to all these programs that, folk are getting money for, nonprofits are getting money to assist in, but a lot of times people don't know how to navigate through the system to get that help. And so some of the things they're doing there is, get people in, assessing their health, and physical health, mental health, and even economical things, saying, hey, how can we help you? And navigating them through those things that already exist. That so doing all that in a 1,200 square foot building is real tight, and so the opportunity came for them to get, I believe, it's almost 30,000 square foot building to expand on those programs, and they also asking the community, for their help, what else you want to see go on here, what are the, matter of fact, come join some of our committees, and a few folks was here at the committee meeting and had some suggestions, and they said, hey, come join us, let's figure this out together, so let's, not coming in saying, this is what we're gonna do for you, this is one of them operations that everybody plays a part, but you got to come in and see what's available and see where you can fit in to help out also. So it's not costing us anything, as you said, I think Mayor Pro Tem, it's not our building, so it's a thing that needs to happen. We can't do everything from here. Government can't do everything, so it takes a collaboration of the entire community to get things like it need to be. So I can't support this.
Thank you, Commissioner Singleton. Chair recognizes Commissioner Anderson.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Mayor. I was here at the committee meeting as well when two doctors came in to actually present this particular item, and I've actually been to the clinic and went down and got my blood pressure taken, but they provide legal aid in that building. They help people with navigation services. They help with a lot of different things that our community needs. And not only that, there are a number of residents that live in the city that work at the clinic, which is a great thing for our community. So there are people who look like us. There is a Black nurse down there that works in that building. So there are a lot of people that work there and they provide a lot of different services. So like many people have said, I think it's a great opportunity, again, for our community. Like they were saying when they were here, get involved. Use your voice. They want to hear what you have to say and what you want to see happen. As Dr. Thomas was talking, she was saying that she wants to see a world-class building down in there for people to be able to go to. They want that building to be multi-use and to have a lot of amenities for the residents in the community. So I think it's a great plan and a new location for healthcare in our community. So I absolutely can support this particular item. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Adams.
Thank you, Mayor Muhammad. I just, I have this inside information that I just have to share because in the field of what they do, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but when you listen to us and you see hear about what we need and stuff, it's easy to put together a program and take care of those needs. We have children that graduate. Hopefully they can stop now and get a terrific job instead of having to move cross country. But the study is in, and there's money for each last one of our heads. Now, who you think gonna get it? I'm just asking, why can't we take control of our own destiny sometimes and stop putting it in other folks' hands? We are very bright people. And the majority of the ones I see just happen to be colored, for goodness sake. Negroes, Black people, people of color. We understand it all because that's who we are, a predominantly Black community. A predominantly Black community. That's what we are. And we have some young, bright, educated people that are skillful in what they do. When will we take the reins of our own future?
Thank you, Commissioner Adams. I just would say, my two daughters had gotten into some medicine over at a friend's where the home was not child safety. And they were rushed to Lakeland. And it was blood pressure medicine, we found out later. And the heart rate went down so fast that they lost nearly all consciousness. And there was a doctor named Dr. Gray.
Okay.
And it was a nurse that was at Lakeland that saved my daughter's life. One daughter is about to graduate from DePaul University and go into law school. And another one has received over $400,000 in scholarships so far, and probably will be the valedictorian at Benton Harbor High School.
All right.
But their lives were saved at Lakeland.
Some are.
So, I've heard other stories, but I'm always trying to work with everybody to pull out the best moving forward. So if we can right wrongs and set or reset, because you are right, it's a lot of money. And you've been saying it for years. And I don't want to, but it's a lot of money about to come to Benton. Over $1 billion under this new master plan. So it'd be better if we try and work together where we can control our own.
And let's see if they're gonna work with us.
And benefit. Well, if our unity will make them.
Okay. All right.
But if we divide it and argue and fight, then it's very easy for the money to get displaced in other people's hands. I call for a question.
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats?
Yeah.
Commissioner Ison?
Yes.
Commissioner Henry?
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Harrelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards,
Yes.
Commissioner Adams.
Yes.
Mayor Mahan.
Yes. Adopt a resolution approving the creation of Harbor Coalition under
You
PA
got to
seven.
do it,
Motion is made by Commissioner Adams. It is supported by Commissioner Edwards. Is there discussion? Chair recognizes Commissioner Adams.
and here we go again. And here we go again, that word coalition. Coalition. Okay, so I'm glad that we have somebody here this evening, and I know he probably can't speak to it, but it's just one question. Just one question that I'd like City Manager Mitchell, through the chair, to answer, and that's his knowledge of what is a trust? There's a trust of the harbor.
Chair recognizes the city manager.
A trust.
Oh. I was expecting that, but that's okay, that's okay. But if we can, Honorable Mayor, if Mr. Fetty would give us, because we need to be educated about this. We're talking about our harbor. And I never understood it, and if there is a trust, I think that Benton Harbor deserves to know exactly what that is and what it looks like.
Chair recognizes the
Please.
Economic Development Director for Barron County. Could you please?
Of course, thank you. I know I've met, I think, all of you at various times in the past, but my name is Dan Fetty, and I'm the Community Development Director for Barron County. And I'll answer your question directly, Commissioner, but maybe a little bit of background would be somewhat helpful here. The harbor in the city, in the St. Joe River, is a federally designated harbor. If you don't mind, I'll take this off so here more clearly. That harbor is maintained by the federal government through the United States Corps of Engineers. And when you're referring to a trust, I think what you're referring to is there's something called a harbor maintenance trust fund. Every ship that comes into this harbor pays a tax based on the materials that come in. That tax is collected by the federal government on an annual basis, and then Congress appropriates that to the various commercial harbors throughout America, but particularly within the Great Lakes navigation system. And that money is appropriated not to any local community, but to the Corps of Engineers. And the Corps of Engineers then comes in on an annual basis based on that appropriation and performs maintenance of the harbor. Principally, that is dredging. They dredge the harbor every year. They scoop the stuff out to create extra depth so that ships can get in here. And then that material, which we call dredge spoils, is taken out to a disposal site at the airport. So that's, when you talk about the trust, it's a federal trust of tax dollars that is released not to the local community, but to the Corps of Engineers.
Okay.
Now, to access that fund, some community or a coalition of communities has to apply on an annual basis. They have to petition Congress. Will you please release X number of dollars to the Corps of Engineers on our behalf so they can come in and maintain this harbor for us? There has to be what's called a local sponsor. Additionally, there has to be some local entity that is capable of ensuring that those dredge spoils can be placed somewhere locally. In other words, if we don't have capacity at a local level to handle these spoils, the Corps of Engineers won't come in and dredge, no matter what, no matter how much money they get from Congress. In years past, Berrien County would make that petition on behalf of the three communities surrounding this harbor: Benton Harbor, St. Joe, and St. Joe Township. And Commissioner Adams, you were on that harbor. The County Board of Commissioners disbanded that unit about 10 years ago. To some degree because of disputes that we were having with the city of St. Joe over various harbor activities. Since that time, there's been no local entity that has made this petition to Congress on an annual basis. The city of St. Joe has filled in that role kind of on an interim or expedited basis, but there is no actual coalition of governments that make that request. And the concern we have is that the harbor is becoming exceedingly critical for the infrastructure projects that are going on throughout the city. this county and the region as a whole. If you think of all your road projects that have taken place here in the last year and a half, that material for those roads came from the harbor. And it reduced the cost of that material by about fivefold. In other words, if it had to be trucked in, you would pay 5 times the amount of money for that material as to what you paid right now. And that's true with all the road projects that are going out there. So the harbor is a critical piece of infrastructure in this community. What this proposal is, and it came out of that large study that was done by the Office of the Great Lakes over the course of 5 or 6 years, and I'm sure many of you recall this 3-part meeting that was taking place at LMC where the 3 communities got together through their respective elected bodies and agreed that they would pursue a method of coming together to create some kind of body legally that had the capacity to petition Congress, to sponsor dredging projects, and also to coordinate for the provision of disposal capacity in this area. What came out of that, and this is not, Berrien County is not involved in this, by the way. This is taking place amongst the city of Benton Harbor, city of St. Joe, and St. Joe Township. Our involvement simply comes down to the point, the fact is we hosted the meetings. And we took the meeting minutes, and then as directed, wrote up the summary of what these 3 communities were discussing. That's it. That summary, I think, went to City Manager Mitchell in August of this year. We met with the Public Safety Committee in September of this year to discuss this, at which point I believe the committee was in support of this proposal. At the same time, the City of St. Joe and St. Joe Township passed, well, not resolutions, they did motions supporting the creation of a coalition under something called Public Act 7 of 1967. And this is an act that allows 3 communities by contract to create a municipal body that has the power to do very specific, limited things. In this case, sponsor dredging, petition Congress for the money to do so, and to work with the airport and the airport authority to ensure that there's capacity for dredge disposal spoils. And that's it. So the proposal before you is not actually that coalition. It's a proposal to agree to enter into the coalition, subject to the drafting of those terms by your respective attorneys, at which point it comes back to this commission, City of St. Joe and St. Joe Township for ultimate approval and ratification. Again, I want to emphasize the county is not a party to this. And we've specifically declined at this point to be a party because we want this, we think it's important that this be a local activity, not a county activity. If at some point you wanted us involved, I'm sure you'd be more than happy to do so. The Board of Commissioners has authorized me to dedicate 2 years of our staff time to this new coalition. So we will prepare the reports, we'll prepare all the applications to Congress on behalf of this new coalition. But we will not be serving as a voting member of the coalition. That is for the 3 communities. So that's a quick summary of what this really is about.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fetty. I call for the question.
Please, sir.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Henry.
I need some clarity. 3 municipalities, and so later we'll break out the details on how this coalition is really supposed to operate.
Exactly.
Okay, so, and that will be through our attorney and staff?
Correct.
Okay. Reminds me when the airport was brought together, Benton Harbor owned 51% of the airport and St. Joe owned 49%, but we only have 1 vote out of 5. And a lot of things that the airport does do not help the city of Benton Harbor. And that's the authority that was made. So I'd hate to have this coalition take any power from Benton Harbor because most of the land, the riverfront belongs to Benton Harbor. And now they're going to use the airport. There was some controversy about where they was dumping the sludge and stuff. So I just hope the staff really pay attention, that they don't just let us go down a rose petal path and find out that we didn't get anything out of it at the end. Thank you.
So the city of Benton Harbor owns 62%.
62% of what?
Airport.
Oh, that's even worse. 62%, and we we don't get anything out of it. So just as long as we're conscious that these things have happened to us in the past, and that we should be very conscious about our river. They never give up. They come with an idea, and they might not come back for 5 years later, but they're gonna come back. And this is part of it. The river is part of it. So please.
Thank you, thank you.
No, I just want to say that recreational water sports are inevitable.
This has nothing.
No, but somebody has to
Nothing to
oversee
do.
it on
This
our
has
behalf.
nothing to
If a
do
coalition,
with that.
if a coalition has to be formed moving forward to ensure that those things happen in the future, then
This has nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with it.
it's a body that's being formed to do some visionary work, I take it, that.
No,
What?
it's, he said it's three things. Could you repeat it, Mr. Fetty?
The idea here is that this coalition will sponsor dredging,
Uh-huh.
petition Congress for funding for dredging, and coordinate with the airport.
Mhm.
We'll have no control over the airport, but
Mhm.
coordinate with the airport to determine if there's disposal capacity.
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with recreational
It sounds
boating,
like
none of that.
vision, well, something's gotta happen for that to be able to happen. I mean, I'm looking at the
Exactly,
larger portion of the
exactly.
picture.
No, you definitely not barking up the wrong tree, but
Yeah.
you know, one thing is connected to the other. Like he said, we can repair our infrastructure, which we know we need to do
Yeah.
at a quality and best cost
Yeah.
as a result of having
Yeah.
that supply right there. So even with the airport, people, you know, we're not getting nothing, but if Whirlpool Corporation and others are flying into Walmart executives and others that's feeding into this city,
Yeah.
then it's a benefit.
And they come quicker, yeah.
So, I mean, we gotta be big picture and see things on a bigger level, but
And I'm glad.
we do have, and I apologize to this family that's waited.
That's part of the call for the question.
Mr. Manager, please call the roll.
Commissioner Adams?
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards?
Yes.
Commissioner Harrelson?
Yeah.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Henry?
Yes.
Commissioner Isom?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats?
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Mayor Muhammad?
Yes.
Motion passes.
This brings us to staff communications. Chair recognizes our Director of Public Safety, Director McGinnis.
Honorable Mayor, Commissioner, I think I had enough discussion. You're gonna hear from me. One thing I will ask is how can I apply to the Isom Foundation and can I touch the lambskin leather? That's all I have.
The chair recognizes our city attorney.
I just want to remind that we do have a closed session, so.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Chair recognizes our city manager, Manager Mitchell.
Nothing tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Adams.
I should say it in the next year, but I really don't want to take it in the next year, but I have a problem that I hope that somebody can help me to solve. And I want to start off by apologizing after thanking this lovely group of residents that have shown up here this evening. I truly mean no disrespect. And the last thing I would do is hurt or harm anyone. But some things have been brought to my attention, and I don't have a problem with apologizing to a person or a people when I have wronged them. I got wind that my name came up before a judge in the form of threatening somebody or someone threatening me. That never happened. It was a young lady that came here. And I don't know what the problem was with these two people. And yes, I'm going to say it was a lady by the name of,
Point of order, Commissioner. You don't want to.
okay, we won't, but with one of the persons that mention my name just happen to be sitting here, which is pro tem seats. I haven't done anything to you. When you be sitting in front of Judge Wiley,
Violate
mentioning
our
me.
own
Yeah,
policies.
yeah.
We don't speak personally about.
That's not personal. I
It
want to know
is,
what
because
is
you
going
calling
on.
You need to speak.
Am I being arrested or something for something that I haven't done?
Commissioner, please, stay within the council rules.
I've tried to, but enough just gets to be enough. It's messy, and I don't have time for it. I'm too busy trying to take care of the people of Ben Harbor's business to be caught up in somebody else's mess.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Commissioner Henry.
I just want to make one comment so the citizens can hear that rental assistance is also part of that water relief package. So if you're having eviction problems, you need to contact the city because we do have some resources to help you. Share that with your family and friends because I know it's out there. I've heard them calling me quite a few times saying that they're having eviction problems. So we do have some help for you. And that's all I want to say. Everybody have a good holiday and be safe.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I'd like to say good evening to everyone out there. Have a safe, beautiful holiday. I have been getting questions from the last meeting. People want to bring bowls, and we had a certain amount to ask for. So they wanted to know if anybody could bring something. Yes, if you want to bring an extra string of lights, ornaments, whatever, you can let me know or Richard Hensel, no problem. I'd like to say, everybody, please be safe and just be diligent in Harbor's moving forward. There's things in a crisis that you'll never see. The crisis always brings a change, and that change is not necessarily agreeable to us. But within those crises and within those changes, there are plans. And if we be patient and faithful, the plans will come to fruition, and we'll be thankful for that crisis. But if we're fighting during the crisis lasts longer, and the people suffer longer. So what am I saying? Let 20 and 21 be a past, and let's move forward with the spirit of togetherness. And let us keep this place where my grandchildren, your grandchildren, great-grandchildren can enjoy it without all the other stuff. Thank you very much. And I'll say this last thing. In all thy getting, get an understanding. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner Edwards. Chair recognizes Commissioner Singleton.
Thank you, Mayor. For the sake of time and for the families that's waiting to see somebody get sworn in or something. Just say everybody have a safe holiday, and there was some things that I did want to not carry into 2022. That basically deal with some individuals that I would deal with that on an individual basis. So, thank you.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Commissioner Isom.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I want to thank the County Commissioner for an update. Great update she always gives to us. I want to thank the United Civic Monument Project for the presentation tonight. Great project. You'll be seeing more from that, hearing more from that. Payment of water bills. I expect great things in Ben Harbor. I expect great things. All water bills being paid current, 3 months credit. Hazard pay for the city employees. I expect great things in Ben Harbor. They ask, what do y'all do? What have you done? That's 2. Spectrum Health coming to help the people of Ben Harbor. That's 3, to help the people of Ben Harbor. All this is help. I expect great things for the city of Ben Harbor. That's why I'm here, for help, and I expect great things to happen. You know, things are happening. You know, hazard pay, Money right now, Christmas. How the OJ said, money, 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 money. Right now, it's a good time. God is good. God bless you. Happy holidays to you. Think positive. Expect great things for Benton Harbor. Expect.
Thank you, Commissioner Isom. Chair recognizes Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I'd just like to say happy holidays to everybody and, yeah, happy holidays, because I probably won't see you all again until, next year in these particular chambers. So happy holidays to everybody and be safe.
Thank you, Commissioner Henderson. Chair recognizes Mayor Pro Tem Seats.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I want to say to the residents, since I've been 22 years old, I've had two things, one an accountant and an attorney. And I said what I said, and it did happen. I have a witness, a commissioner who was there, who can witness the situation that happened. Because you serve in a role of politics or sit behind this desk gives nobody the right to call you any kind of B's or MFers in the public. And if that happens, hold on, Honorable Mayor, because I've let everybody else shoot their roll out.
Still cannot attack or use this.
Okay, Honorable Mayor, I'm not speaking to any individual, and I'm not saying no names. But when we stood at the top of the steps, it happened. I stand on that, and that's two things I've always had: is an attorney and an accountant. I want to say we wasted enough time tonight talking about all this other shenanigans. Commissioner Harrelson, you're going to be dearly missed. You've been a great asset to this community and to this city. You stood tall in hard times. Nobody was willing to go through some of the things that you've been through with EFM, Mercy Manager, being silenced, put out. You were part of this board that led us out of being under a state takeover. I definitely will say that you are a queen in what you do. And whatever the mayor or this body decides to do for your tenure, but know that your labor of love has not been in vain. People think this is a position of, this is not, this is not Congress, this is not the Senate. We are a body of 9 individuals. No one person can get anything done, but you showed humility, you showed love, you showed interest, and I appreciate you. I want to say that from the bottom of my heart. Serving with you has been a complete joy. You know, nothing wrong with being quiet, because sometimes quiet will get you further than making a lot of noise. And you've been a gentle giant. The connections that you have across the state of Michigan, I hope that you will still come around, show up, and be here. You not only have been a commissioner, but you did serve under Wilson Cook, the mayor, as the mayor pro tem. So you deserve any honor, any commissioner, because there are people who sat behind these desks who've been railed, been slapped. Somebody was on Facebook and said that I stole over $1.5 million from the city. I don't even got a credit card, checkbook, car key, don't even use the phone. But that's the kind of erroneous stuff that's being said. So I don't even want to say we need to move forward. I just want to say we need to grow up. This is not a position for, this is not I want to say Rick James show. This is not the Maury Povich show or something. You're down here to handle the residents' business. This is not who can get the most claps, the most laughs. This is who can get the most done. So in 2022, hopefully our behavior is, I've had business, and I'm going to close this, Honorable Mayor. I had a business owner come through here and shut the doors of the business, say he'll never do business with the city of Benton Harbor again because of the behavior of this commission. Let that not be so. We want to be attractive to people who want to bring millions of dollars here. But if somebody want to look at you and they can't come up in there and leave a building just sitting there because of our behavior, there's a problem. So thank you, Honorable Mayor, for your leadership. Thank you again, Commissioner Harrelson, to this body. Thank you again, and the people did speak.
Chair recognizes Fourth Ward Commissioner for her farewell remarks.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. First, I'd like to congratulate my opponent, and I know you do a good job. I want to thank the commissioners. It's been a journey that I've loved. I served this city for 32 years, and I feel like I've done my best. Not only here, but other places. And so it's been a journey that I have enjoyed, that I love, and I hope that the city will continue to do good and move forward, because our citizens deserve the best. And right now, I think we have the best on this commission. And if you just keep up the good work, I will be coming back. Don't worry. I'm gonna check on you. I'm gonna tell you what you did and what you didn't do, and what you should have did. Mayor, I appreciate you, and city manager, and all of my teamwork. And I'm gonna miss you, but you'll see me more. And also, I'd just like to say to my opponent, don't get shy. Speak up, speak out.
Don't worry.
Let them know whether they go anywhere or not. Let the citizens know that you care about your city. Thank you.
Thank you to all the residents who came out tonight to see your government close out 2021. We lost many in 2021. So I just would like for us to remember those who and pray that we make it into 2022, because tomorrow is not promised. So please keep those who have lost loved ones in prayer as we reflect and go into a new year. 2022 will be a big year for the city of Benton. The Mercy property is poised to have over $40 million in 3 different phases poured into that land. We're over 100 units, from housing homes to multi-units, but it'll be about 100 units, but also some commercial and retail in that area as well. So get your business plan together. And be ready to do business, and not ask or look for somebody to give you a job. Create your own job, because again, if it's a lot of money coming through Benton Harbor, it's going to be about positioning in order to benefit. As far as the water credits, the state of Michigan in Flint, the state legislature allocated over $40 million to provide water credits to the city of Flint. And that has to be done by the state, where residents won't have to pay a water bill, or they may have to do a 60-40 split, where 60% is paid for with a credit by the state, and the other part will be paid for in sewer by a resident. And that's something that we're advocating for going forward in 2022. So as far as the service and legacy of Commissioner Harrelson, it's a blessing to be able to see the end and have a new beginning. because I think the best, service that you have is in front of you. Jimmy Carter and other public servants did more and greater work after public office. So just because somebody is not in office, and this is really a misnomer in Ben Harbor, that you gotta be in a position to make a difference. And that's not necessarily so. So I know that the impact that you will make beyond this seat will continue to be felt. I want to congratulate Mrs. Ethel Clark Griffin. We will be swearing you in. Look at this agenda, because I believe that you are up next. So I'm going to end my comments at this time. Can we have the podium?
Air purifier went up.
Yeah.
So if Mrs. Ethel Clark Griffin can come forward, and if there's anybody that will come and stand with you as we administer the oath of office.
My youngest son and oldest son. Yeah, take it down. What you got?
So you can come forward. So someone wants to understand.
I, Ethel Clark Griffin,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of the state,
and that I will faithfully perform
and that I will faithfully perform
the duties
the duties
of the office
of the office
of the Fourth Ward Commissioner
of the Fourth Ward Commissioner
in and for the city of Benton Harbor,
and then for the city of Benton Harbor,
County of Berrien,
County of Berrien,
and state of Michigan,
state of Michigan,
according to the best
according to the best
of my ability,
of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
You are officially sworn in as Fourth Ward Commissioner,
Glory to
and
God.
your term will start at 12:59 p.m. or January 1st, pardon me, of 2022.
Congratulations. I want to thank all my family, my church family, my family, the residents, everybody that's here for me and stay. I know this is long, you stayed this long, but I want to thank you guys, and I love you all. And my pastor. Yeah. Okay, y'all know that's
So
my
you
pastor.
are official.
Thank you. What's your voice? A picture?
No.
Oh, okay. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you all. We just walked down here
He wanted to be sworn in. He thought he was being sworn in tonight.
So tonight it only reflects that we Clark Griffin. But when the clerk gets back.
Just point of clarity. Don't make me no difference between first and the third. If something go down,
Well, the thing of it is, you're already
so you don't
in office and the term expires
January.
in January 1 of 2022. They don't have to be anytime. She can swear you anytime. Right.
She can do it in all this. Swear you in and all.
So we do have a closed session tonight.
That does require a vote.
Point of order. We do have a closed session tonight, strategy session regarding the pending litigation, Brazel versus Whitmer, pending in United